Welcome to the fucking Wrestling Through the Years podcast. I'm Dizzle.
I'm Dutchy.
I'm Money.
And we're here today for a very fun topic. Thanks for joining us if you're here, and if you're checking it out later, sounds good too. We're here to talk about a thing I kind of wanted to do for a while. We did top 10 underrated heels a while ago, and that got some feedback. So we're gonna be doing top 10 baby faces today. Top 10 underrated baby faces. So the criteria, these are four guys that I would, and if they're on your guys' list, I'm sorry. These are four baby faces I would say are not underrated at all. Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Sting. I almost said The Undertaker, but maybe not. Hogan?
Yeah.
Yes, he is not underrated. Hogan, Macho Man, like those guys, I do not think are. Mick Foley, I don't find him underrated.
DDP.
But DDP is not underrated. Those are all big time baby faces.
The Rock.
Yes, and then Stone Cold, and then I think we can leave it at that. And then it's because I do have some like pretty big names on my list, but they're not necessarily for being baby faces. So before we get into that, we're going to start with a classic segment that we call Worker of the Week, where we're going to pick our favorite thing from this week in wrestling. It doesn't have to necessarily be a match. It can be an angle. It can be something to do with a manager. I think Paul Heyman won my Worker of the Week one week. So anybody can win. Who was your Worker of the Week then?
I'd have to go Braun Breaker because that Intercontinental title match at Survivor Series is fucking awesome.
So good, yeah.
And for a lot of people, I think, because there's a lot of people that did not like the women's War Games match.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sexist pigs. And I've been known to be one myself, but I actually did enjoy the match.
To be fair, though, it did have its flaws.
Yeah, it was very clunky, and it's just like because you had that match was just so thrown together.
And that was one of the weirdest crowd reactions I've ever seen.
Yeah.
From dead silence to "This is awesome" chants to back to dead silence.
Yeah.
Back to "This is awesome" chants. Like how frequently they went back. And like that's all it was. It was either they weren't making any noise or somebody did something cool. Breaker's putting in work. I don't think the women's War Games match wasn't awful. I don't think that's dramatically great, but Bailey and Nia.
Yeah, but we also know who it is.
Well, he's our boy, though. Bailey and Nia didn't seem to know what the fuck they were doing. Those Hulk Hogan chair shots. I mean, fucking, that is Hulk Hogan WCW 2000. I've even seen side by sides recently.
Yeah.
Nia and Naomi's flinch and they're fucking like it was. Those chair shots were brutal. And not brutal in like a fucking devastating way, but like a this is ass. She could have put a little more oomph. I mean, I'm always for protecting people, but if you're gonna have the chairs, you might as well put some swing into it. I'm glad they're not hitting in the head anymore, but
yeah. By the way, I know he's our boy, but that doesn't make him smart.
No, it almost makes him the opposite.
Yeah,
that's kind of the stigma you get hanging out with this group.
Yeah, but, hanging with us. I mean, look at Eric. Eric probably used to have 187 IQ.
Hey,
now it's 30. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. You're a big brain man.
37.
There you go. Give him his brownie points. The best part of course it was. EO in the trash can was summed up the match perfectly. Trash, and I'm not smart. You tell him. You fucking tell him. But no, I agree. I do think that the cage match. I wouldn't say it was trash, but mediocre at least. I mean, there was things in it that took it down, and there was people in it that really helped bring it up. Like not like he said. He said Nia and Bailey. I didn't mind Bailey as much in that. I thought Nia was a real outlier, and I thought as much as I love fucking Candice LeRae, she just didn't really fit in the match.
Yeah.
And I also think that Raquel's clunky. But Rhea Ripley, Bianca, are you sick of Rhea? No, she's the best women's wrestler in the fucking world. She's got the look. She looks like she can beat your ass. She's a badass. That's everything they wanted out of China in the fucking 2000s.
Talk about
That's
Bianca.
Rhea Ripley is the fucking best women's wrestler on the roster.
I thought you were going to say Rhea Ripley was the man.
Well, it's Becky Lynch, but
Yeah.
but no, she beat the man. Yeah, I'm not sick of Rhea at all, and I like the whole mommy dom fucking. That's been the A story on Raw for how long, and Raw's been an entertaining, great show.
Yeah.
So I mean, Liv Morgan's doing the best heel. Where is this like sexy fucking bitchy heel that's like really relying on her sex appeal, but also like a fucking ass. She reminds me of Angelica from what is it?
Rugrats.
Yeah, her voice is fucking killer, man. Yeah, but they aren't pushing anyone else. It's just her. That's just. I mean, they had fucking what's her name? Rosita in TNA. What's her name here again?
Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega. They had her and Liv do a deal. They're having Io and Liv do a deal. They had that Ilya Valkyrie fucking in the Battle Royal. I would say that they are pushing some way. Yeah, it's just Rhea. And but you also have to build. That's when the draft.
And they're building. They're building for a new title.
And also on SmackDown, you got a bunch of women getting pushed. So when people start crossing over again after WrestleMania, because Zelina is a guy, I completely agree with that. I love that woman, and she's great mic work.
Yeah,
hilarious mic work. That when she gets a shot, she fucking makes the most of it.
Fucking her one-liners are fucking awesome.
Her hilarious. Your mustache, your fucking
your forehead.
Yeah, she is hilarious. But Rhea, you just got to build some people up still. But I think people are slowly being built. And like Rhea and Bianca, there's so much money in that when they finally get to that.
Yeah.
If they did, all right, I'm not putting that one up. But even I mean,
we know Sean, but
watch NXT.
Yeah. By the way, tomorrow, Battle of the Butts.
Yeah.
In NXT Underground.
Yeah. I saw that. Jada Parker. Oh my God. Talented woman.
Yeah.
Very talented.
I bet Eric does wish he was coming over just to see the Battle of the Butts.
The battle. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, they already had a great hardcore match.
Yeah.
She fucking smashed a brick over over old Lola. And I've liked Lola ever since MMA.
Yeah.
And I think she's fun and feisty as a heel. Or whatever. I don't know who the heel is in that program. But, we didn't get to mine and Eric's working.
No, I just said Braun Breaker because the match.
What do you got?
Yeah.
Seth Rollins. I thought his segment with CM Punk was good.
It was great. And the way it transitioned into Sammy was even better.
Yeah. It was Sammy Zayn too. But I really liked that segment with the three of them. I thought it was intriguing. And we're gonna see CM Punk and Seth Rollins finally.
Yeah, at some point. I think they want to build to that. I don't think you're gonna get it until either Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania. Punk and Rollins, there's so much money on the table there, and that feud works. And the thing about that segment is it shows how evolved WWE has gotten. That It's not like, because if this segment was in 2011, it would be Punk and it wouldn't be as fast paced. It would be them fucking talking to each other, Punk and fucking Rollins. I hate you, for fucking 20 minutes. And then fucking what's his name would come out, Sami Zayn, and just to interrupt both of them. Punk would stay on camera and Zayn would say what he have to. Now that Triple H is really making this thing more evolved and it's like more of a production and it kind of feels like a movie. And it's like they're trying different shit shot wise. The fact that you go from Punk and him in the ring, Punk and Rollins talking. And by the way, Punk owned Rollins on that one. And they both have great promos against each other in the past. And there's been times where I'm like, Rollins kind of got him on it. But that one, I don't think about you at all. Like that's a classic Madman line. Mad Men, but the TV show. But I thought that was perfect. You think about me, I don't think about you at all. And the way he just walked, he just dismissed him. Fuck you. You mean nothing to me.
That's how Eric dismisses all the women that try to hit on him at work. I don't think about you at all.
I will say they are relying on brawls too much. There are a lot of pull aparts. Poor Jason Jordan's out there 6 times a show sometimes. So
that's the most over he's ever been.
Oh, come on. That's Kurt Angle's son.
He's a putz.
That should be WrestleMania. I don't disagree with Elite Doc. I don't disagree. But
what, Alexa Bliss and Jason Jordan?
maybe. But maybe a good couple, but she's married. And I don't know what his arrangement is. But listen, I really enjoyed that segment. I do think Seth Rollins, because then after that, after he got owned by Punk, Sami Zayn comes in and Rollins kind of shreds him. And Rollins is back on his game, and he's riffing with, and it still means something, and it's still awesome, and it builds something, and it's like
they're good friends too, because they go back.
And it's like now you're staying up to 2 hours. I mean, Doug didn't, but now you're like, oh my god, I got to see this main event.
I'm too old for that shit.
I know, but it's like we just got we're getting Rollins and Zayn in the main event. Let's go. Like that got me fucking pumped up for the rest of the card. Almost as good as when Roman said if he wanted to main event with a megastar, he would have picked Rollins' wife. That was a good one. That was a good one. It was better than any of the stuff talking about his outfits.
Yeah.
I did really like that line. But, yeah, Rollins, but him and Zayn had a good altercation. I'm going to give my worker of the week to another promo thing, Kofi Kingston. First heel turn, and God knows how long. He was heel once with the New Day, but then they ended up getting over and going baby. And it's kind of, and he's always been a baby fan. Kofi is kind of a career baby fan. He's like one that you listen, like he could very well be on one of our lists, if we're being honest. He's not on mine, but he very well could be on one of our lists. So Kofi Kingston is a career babyface, and he's a great babyface. And I would almost say he's underrated. But the thing that he really, I liked Woods, and I think Woods is more natural in the role, but I liked that Kofi was like, Kurt broke his neck, he came back. Edge broke his neck, he came back. Stone Cold, like the way he fucking, you can tell it wasn't, he's got to work into this, and I hope they really put some fucking, give him some good shit to sink his teeth into, and he really works on the character, because you could tell he felt a little uncomfortable, because that's not a role that's natural to Kofi Kingston, is saying, hey, who cares that he said who cares that you broke your fucking neck? Who cares? Like, and this is real life, and it's the medley, which always makes great entertainment.
Yep.
And it's fucking, and it's coming to Big E, and Big E's still over like Rover. When he comes back, you can fucking put him in a championship main event. The crowd loved him. So like to me, that whole segment really worked. I honestly think Big E is cleared for some slight action. I don't know that
if he comes back within like the next couple of weeks, then maybe.
I think he might stay gone for a while though. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, what's funny is that so I read today that this had actually been planned for a while. And when they had that Odyssey Jones kind of hanging out with New Day for a couple weeks before they fired him because for domestic violence or whatever. Yeah. The original plan was they were going to replace Big E with him.
That's what it seemed like.
And they were going to do that, but then, they quietly removed him off television because, of issues.
Well, that's one of the things, because since WrestleMania, one of our because Raw has been a great program. It's been a lot of fun to watch. But one of our things is like, the New Day's been breaking up for like 10 years now. Are we doing this or not?
Yeah.
Like, it was a little like, are we fucking, like, is Xavier going to hit him or what's going on? Because, like, we've been teasing this for a long fucking time. And you can tell with Odyssey, they're going to break, and then that didn't work out. So they're like, oh shit, they're back to breaking up again. And now that they're heels and they're going strong and they're really fighting and they're going to start cheating and shit, and we're going to get heel Kofi. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, if they're going to be anywhere near the title scene, you're going to have to get the belts off the New Day eventually, because we don't need that heel versus heel. Right? I don't think so.
The Judgment Day, yeah.
What'd I say?
New Day.
Okay. The Judgment Day. But I see good things in their future if they can keep it up and have a good story. And in a world where you build up Kofi back as a heel and maybe let Woods manage him and get Kofi towards that world title scene, and then Big E does get cleared, it's fucking money.
Yeah. And what's funny too is that when they were bringing up, Big E's just moved on with your life and all that, and they brought up his girlfriend, his girlfriend, by the way, is Mia Yim's sister. In my head, I'm just thinking, I'm like, guys, his girlfriend's sister has won more matches in the last month than you have since last Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, basically what I'm saying is they suck. And I've always been a fan of Kofi's. I could give two shits about Xavier Woods.
I think that's most people's opinion.
So, like, I'm interested to see what they do with Kofi. What they do with Woods, I don't give a fuck. Like, he talked about, oh, I tore my Achilles off the bone. It's like, yeah, and nobody gave a shit. Like, we didn't care that you were gone. You suck.
My objective,
play a video game.
My objective opinion on him is that he's a solid underneath heel. And that's what he could do. If you broke him up and you fucking focus on heel Kofi, you can get heel Kofi to the main event scene. I don't think you can get Woods there. And I don't mean that in a mean way. And I know Woods has kind of been always the odd man out in ways. And I do think he's got solid work and heel shit. I think he could do heel shit almost better than Kofi right now. Kofi's going to have to develop more. So Xavier Woods, like, it was so natural to him to be a posh asshole. So, like, you could still, like, keep him as an underneath fucking, like, as a mid card. Like, but if you're going to make that push, Kofi's kind of got to go on his own, in my opinion. But it's nothing against. I don't have the same opinion as you do, but he's not my favorite member of the New Day. To me, it's always been Woods is a good fucking mid-card guy. Kofi's a fucking, there's always potential there, and he had the big WrestleMania moment, and it's like Kofi's like a workhorse, and Big E's like he could really be something.
Yeah.
It was always that. And both of them have won titles, but heel Woods would only work if they brought back the hardcore title. That's a take. I could even see if they brought back the European title. I know he's not European, but I could see him with the European title.
Yeah. Or like a TV title type thing.
Because with the ice, like, you're building Braun Breaker right now. The fucking Woods isn't touching that scene. Even though you squeeze Ludwig Kaiser in there. Which honestly, he's been growing on me. But, all right. Did I give mine? Oh, yeah, I gave mine. Let's go. Let's move on. Top 10 underrated baby faces of all time. This is a hard list to do. I don't know why I put my phone on the charger when I need it for my list.
Beats the hell out of me.
That's in my list. Is kind of weird, but
well, you're a kind of weird kind of guy.
Well, thanks, though.
We still love you.
I know. I think we're all weird in our own way.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
All right. Most underrated baby faces of all time. Let's get it indeed. All right. Who wants to go first? Eric, your top 10 underrated baby face of all time. A baby face that doesn't get his due. Who is a good guy that doesn't get his due? Give it to me, Eric. Number 10.
I mean, this guy's a heel right now, but when he had his small run as a babyface earlier this year, in AEW, I'm gonna say MJF. I think if they did it right, with the babyface, because he can talk and the crowd loves him, but he has that arrogant asshole in him, so I think it could work. I think he can make it work.
MJF as a babyface works about as well as me as the president of a women's rights movement. Doesn't work at all. Okay.
Listen.
Yeah, thank you for bailing me out.
Yeah, you gotta get the fuck out. I do think that his babyface run isn't what like took AEW down or nothing. Like the fact that AEW is doing bad crowds and shit isn't because of fucking MJF's babyface run. I do think that there is a little money there, but it's so hard. To me, it's just like Miz. When you have the punchable face, you're typecast forever. And he's got the punchable face, and he's so good at being arrogant. To me, there's too much heel. And if he ever, like, this comment, do you think he'll end up at WWE? Maybe. He says he's loyal to AEW, but who knows? But if he does, he will never be a babyface. I guarantee it. Triple H won't have it. He will not be a babyface. He is a career heel, in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
to me, it can really only get over with that niche audience. It can really get over with the fans like us that like can appreciate him. It's like, oh, we like you because you're cool. Like we kind of think you're cool. But to me, that niche audience, that's it. I don't think the casual audience can like really get behind him as a babyface. To me, he could be a main event WrestleMania heel, but he's a heel.
That's fair.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Like, we talked about Miz, because MJF and Miz are like a perfect comparison, but also too, like, I kind of look at Kurt Hennig when they turned him babyface in '92.
Yeah.
And that didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, because he still bragged about, oh, I'm perfect. And it's like, well, if you're so perfect, why the
That's
fuck are
actually a
you?
good comparison. Good job, Doug.
Thank you.
You're in the right
Yeah,
spot.
this is how hard this list was for me. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not, and I have a couple of career heels that I thought were good baby faces too. You got it.
Yeah.
But I'll go next.
Okay.
My top 10 underrated baby face of all time is Santino Marella.
I think he would be a lot of people's number one.
I can't think of another man that was more over with a comedy act besides maybe R-Truth nowadays. But him, like, as far as comedic characters, I think he's one of the best. The fact that he almost won the Royal fucking Rumble and we were excited about it. What the hell is that?
I think he's trying to do the Cobra.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
What's he trying to do?
Cobra! The Cobra.
I think those are Cobras.
I thought it was like Blue's Clues or some shit.
I don't fucking know.
But no.
Eric's looking it up as we speak.
Right.
That's why he went off camera.
I really do. I enjoy him.
Or he's jerking
as a
off
baby.
again.
He's a funny character. The whole Janchina. He works, dude. And like he got Vladimir Kozlov over. Like that guy can fucking do anything.
Can you put the
He's a great baby face.
chart?
But I think he's really good. I can't say he could have ever like done a world title program or nothing, but he fucking as a baby face, he was over, and people loved when he came on screen, and he made a lot of shit work, especially in that cringy, stupid era. A lot of people like Santino, so yeah, he got Beth over. I mean, Beth wasn't impressive; she had the look,
But it was more like he did that in the heel run. In the babyface run, he got over the Cobra thing. He got Kozlov over, like you said, like that whole thing where they
Vicky over.
Yeah,
I mean, Vicky was over, but
when him and Kozlov, were overseas and they dressed up or whatever in like the top hats and the suits and the canes, and did the tea party with Santino. Just seeing Kozlov dressed like that.
Yeah. And listen, that is a former Miss WrestleMania we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Sean almost beat me to it. Yeah, he got over as Santina too. Which it's like that's like Vince's little fuck you to the women's revolution, like right before we do it. Like, we're doing a women's battle royal. A man's winning in drag, pal.
Yeah.
But I Santino, I will always be a fan of. That's why he's my number 2.
And the hog pen thing when he came up with the match and he looked at Vicky and said, "You're gonna be with the pigs."
You're gonna be with the pigs. All right, who's your number 10, Big Dougie Wuggy?
Jerry Lynn.
Okay,
So
ECW's finest.
ECW's finest. He was, he's one of those guys to where, like, I don't think he really ever could work as a heel because he's always fighting from underneath. And when you fight from underneath, that really makes you like the underdog babyface always works. And he always did it perfectly, especially in ECW. I think
I love how he's calling you old and you're talking about a 90s guy.
Jerry Lynn was over in 2000, 2001, right?
Wait till we get the fucking
Elite dipshit.
Oh no, he's not. But wait till we get to fucking I'm trying to think of an underrated territory babyface.
I don't know. Do I have one on here? I probably do.
Because Jerry Lynn, I mean, he's old, like, to me, but because he like 90s, but
Yeah.
Jerry Lynn, I mean, former light heavyweight champion. Those ECW matches with Rob Van Dam are just the fucking
Yeah.
So like, he was a great worker. And when ECW, like, everybody talks, oh, fucking Eddie and Benoit and Malenko all started in ECW. But yeah, and then they left and the great wrestling still stayed. It wasn't just hardcore shit. And then you had Jerry Lynn and Lance Storm and Credible and even Sabu and all them doing their thing. So I thought, yeah, that's a good pick.
Thank you. All right. Eric, are you done masturbating so you can come back on camera? There you go.
I'm fine.
Andy Kane.
My number 9 is Zack Ryder.
Oh,
I
told you I was going to take him. That's why I put him off my list.
Yeah. We're trying to think in the car. He's like, I wonder, like, do you think anybody's going to take mine? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, show me your list. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, he goes, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. But he never fucking showed me his. And then I show him mine. He's like, I don't know why you're showing me. It's like, you just asked me. And
Wait, so you guys had Zack Ryder on your list too?
I was going to, but I took him off for somebody else.
Yeah, because we figured it's like Eric's gonna have. I didn't think you would really match anybody on my list, but I kind of figured you'd match people on his.
Oh yeah, we like the same eras.
Zack Ryder was the last minute, but
well, and it's a great pick. He was super over. The fans he should have been a fucking WrestleMania main eventer. The way the fans loved him, people were behind that young man, and that's when Vince didn't give a fuck what the people wanted.
Especially that moment when you had Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, and Zack Ryder in that ring.
Yeah, which Vince made sure to fuck up, but he made sure to have Michael Cole fuck it up.
Well, yeah,
he was the first one that had the internet championship.
Yeah, he was the man. Yeah, and he was the guy, and he really got himself over, and that's what they ask you. They're like, who's going to get themselves over and who's going to be the guy that connects with the fans? That guy fucking did it, and then their response was, we're going to have John Cena fuck his girlfriend, pal. So,
and he's still over to this day, but he's a heel now.
Yeah, and he's a good heel, but
exactly.
And he's doing his thing on the indies, but and an AEW with Chris Jericho.
I hope he takes that title from him.
Oh yeah, Ring of Honor with Chris Jericho. So good for him.
Yeah,
but that's a good pick. That's a great pick.
Yep.
All right. Woo woo woo.
You know it.
My number 9 that I actually took Ryder out for is the one-legged wonder, Zach Gowen.
So you kept a guy named Zach in there. You just changed the last name.
I changed the last name and took a leg.
Here's the thing. He was never going to work because they were getting too much flack for the fact that they had a one-legged wrestler. Which, by the way, he wrestled in TNA way before he wrestled in WWE.
Yeah, the Tenacious Z.
Yeah.
So he's been wrestling, and honestly, he was kind of good. Like, he could only really do a moonsault, but he like the way he would throw his body into shit and really he could sell. And that young kid, for 19 years fucking old, he got shit over. And him and Vince had a great match. I still love that match. And for a heel Vince, and that was prime fucking roided out fucking big ass fucking Vince, and it's fucking this little fucking one-legged dude, and he's just kicking his ass. And I love that handicap match with him and Steph against the Big Show. And I like the little feud with Matt Hardy. I thought they could have done more with him. I mean, Brock Lesnar just kind of fucking killed him, but he fucking I thought there was money in Zach Gowen, and I do think it was an attraction. And I do think it was something that could have always worked. And it's not just to get sympathy, but it's like to show that this kid worked his fucking ass off. He's fought his ass off, and he's here now. And that's a fucking cool story. And that's a great babyface. So I thought he did good what was given to him. He did come across as a bit cocky sometimes, which would kind of go against babyface tendencies. But I do think that he had the crowd. He had fucking, a good fundamental base of wrestling. He was a good wrestler for what he could do. And because taking away a leg is hard, but he still made it fucking work, and he was hobbling his ass off. And when Brock beat the shit out of him with the prosthetic, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But I think Zach Allen was an underrated babyface that didn't get his due, because he's somebody I thought you could at least got a fucking. You could have put a strap on him. You could have gave him the cruiserweight at least. Go ahead, Doug.
All right. My number 9 is Tatanka.
Oh.
Ooh.
And he's underrated as a baby. When they tried him as a heel, it fucking blew.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah. But like as a baby face, he was slowly getting over, and then they had the undefeated streak for him. And he just worked like a Native American, and he's a proud Native American and all that. And
He had the look.
yeah.
He looked cool and different, and he was badass. And
Yeah.
like there was something about Tatanka that's like you watch early '90s WWF, and you're like, oh my god, he was pretty cool. A lot of those early Raws, he's kind of made.
Yeah. Early Raws, and then I was surprised when they never put a title on him. Like WrestleMania 9, when he wrestled Shawn Michaels, like I don't know what the plan was, how far they thought they were going to get Shawn with the belt. But you had the opportunity to put a title on this guy, and you didn't take it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just like, it's baffling, especially with how over he was. So,
Yeah, I'd agree. That's a good pick. All right, Eric, number 8.
I'm changing it to Kane. I had Brock Lesnar, but I'm changing it to Kane.
Go fuck yourself. Go.
Wait, you have Kane?
Yeah, he's my number 1. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, then I'll keep it Brock.
No, you can go Kane. Let's talk Kane, if that's who you want.
I thought Kane, it's good. It's underrated babyface because the fans love him, especially when people made fun of him, and especially I'm watching like the '99 when with Tori Wilson, and
that's not Tori Wilson.
huh?
It's a different Tory.
Oh,
That's an ugly Tory.
But jeez. But yeah, the shit with her and X-Pac and the babyface run, it was great.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of people, and I have another number 1, so it's okay. But fucking, I do think that Kane is one of the better underrated baby faces because he is such a good heel, and he's known for his heel work and the unmasking and even the heel stuff when he first came against Undertaker, and like even fucking early attitude or late attitude era ruthless aggression. He was really good as a heel. But I love X-Pac fucking DX Kane, almost like I love that Kane, and I also love tagging with Rob Van Dam and even tagging with the Hurricane a little bit, and that fucking 2003 babyface Kane. I mean, you take away Katie Vick, that's a great babyface run.
Yeah.
That's not his fault.
And when he had like the
I
Canaanites
think
and
he was
all that.
better babyface than heel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
Especially
a
his late
cool,
heel.
He
with
was
the
a cool,
authority.
fun baby face, and he was a lot of fun to watch. And his heel turns were equally as good, but I don't think his baby face runs get enough love.
Yeah. You know what's actually impressive too?
What?
Eric didn't fuck one of us over till 33 minutes into the show.
Well, there you go. And then
Usually it's a lot earlier than that.
yeah, but he did the ultimate fucking. All right.
Well, he is an
And
ultimate
I had
fuck.
Brock Lesnar, but I thought
Yeah, you're just like, nah, I think Kane is one of these guys number 1, so let me change it. I haven't fucked up in a while, so I got to make sure I get one in.
Well, Brock's not on my fucking list. He's a shitty.
sorry, Daniel.
It's okay.
Jackass.
No, you're a good kid. You're a good man. Go ahead, Doug. Number 8.
The Tennessee Cowboy James Storm.
Ooh,
It's a great pick.
Because, and here's the thing is that, like, I know a lot of people back in the early days of TNA, they all thought, oh, Chris Harris is going to be the star. We think Chris Harris is like the better athlete. Storm was a better promo. And Storm is better with the selling. And he's also, probably use finger number 3. And his in-ring work was a lot better because Chris Harris could get sloppy.
Yeah.
And then, you look at when Beer Money formed, Bobby Roode was always going to be the better heel. So you knew when they split, it was going to be
I'll be
Storm.
back in a minute.
Jesus Christ.
I forgot to take my meds.
Oh,
We don't want him to explode.
yeah. When he says medicine, he means Viagra.
Gotta stay hard for the show.
Yeah, exactly. Because he jacks off 20 minutes before it. Stone Cold Shark Boy was a babyface. I was answering the question.
I know, but first I thought he was talking about Steve, and then I pulled the comment up. It's like, oh, he's talking about Shark Boy.
But like with Storm was, always going to be that, going to be the baby face, over Bobby Roode. And he got himself over. I'll never forget when we went to the show at
The ballpark where the Bisons play.
Yeah, the ballpark, and he had that like 10-second match with Robbie E, and they were doing the thing where because they had done the year before, they had always shot footage from house shows that had to do with the Bound for Glory series.
Yeah.
And this year they were starting to do it, but then even though they shot the footage, they never showed it because they realized it was costing too much or some shit. Or I don't know what their excuse was, but it was dumb. But I remember you being in the crowd because I remember Storm coming up by us, and I looked at you and I said, "Go!"
Yeah.
And you went over there, and Storm spilled his beer on you, and
He pissed Mom off.
Oh yeah,
Why is he smelling?
yeah. And then I remember I actually told Storm that story.
Yeah.
I saw him at a show like a couple years later, and I said, "You got me in trouble with my mother." He looked at me and said, "I'm intrigued. Go ahead." And I told him the story. And at the end, because the story being that, you got covered in beer.
Yes.
Drove home. Mom thought you smelled like beer. She called me. She goes, "Why does your brother smell like beer?" I'm like, it's a wrestler's fault. And then I got, in trouble a little bit. And I at the end of the story, Storm goes, "Yeah, my bad. Sorry." And I was just like, "You're good." He could have knocked $5 off the autograph, but we're still
That's hilarious.
but we're still good.
Yeah, James Storm, that was when TNA could actually really been something.
Yeah.
That's when they were building off of that. They still had Kurt and shit. Like they could have really done something. And James Storm was a damn good babyface that had a lot of potential. I wish he could have ended up being a bigger star. Because he had all the potential in the world.
Exactly.
I think I
7.
that one.
Right.
I didn't go after Eric. I went right to you.
Oh, well, then you're up.
All right, my number 8. You ready?
Yeah.
Randy Orton.
Ooh, I thought about it, but
No, I think he's one of those he's so known as a heel, and people love him and he's respected. But that his babyface work can be a lot of fun, and I love the buddy cop shit with Kevin Owens, and even him selling this neck. He's just been really good about it, and him being a friend to Cody. I like that, and I like the 2011, 2010, like after the Legacy run when they turned him babyface, and he was like,
which they weren't going to do, by the way.
But I thought it worked. And even when they tried to in 2004, I was behind him. I was so pissed at fucking Unforgiven or whatever the fuck when Triple H beat him. Because I was like, he just won the belt and the crowd loved him. You just get the crowd turned him babyface. You're taking the title away from him now, and now you're going to make him smack Stacy Keibler? I like Stacy Keibler.
I mean, I'd smack her ass.
But I thought Randy
Well,
Orton...
I mean...
shut up. But I thought he was... No, you did great. But I thought Randy
Wait,
Orton...
you wouldn't?
Smack Randy Orton's ass or Stacy?
Stacy's ass.
I'd give it a light touch. But if she asked me to... But,
Well, no, I wouldn't just go up and just smack her ass.
But she... No, I mean, she's a great woman.
I mean, if I were going to do that, I'd make sure to hand her a 50 or something. or at least a 20. I don't know if I'd carry a $50 bill with me.
I would agree with that comment back in the day, but I think everybody grows and learns and matures, and I feel like that dude's kind of an evolved, elevated human being. I think Randy Orton's in a good place right now. And none of us can really judge him because we really don't know. But yeah, he did it. He had his demons, and he's fucked a lot of shit up, just like all of us as people. And I think he's grown from it. So yeah, he might have been a dick back. I mean, Shawn Michaels, there's a lot of people like that. And then it takes some people longer to grow up than others. But I do think Randy seems like a babyface outside of the ring nowadays. But in the ring, I think he's a really good babyface. And I do think that he doesn't get his due enough at that. Because he can really step over. And he's that guy that's like, he's that guy now that's like that Undertaker locker room leader, it seems like. And like that the young guys really respect and love. And the fact like you remember going back fucking when Mr. Kennedy fucked up that thing and he's fucking yelling at him and shit, and when Kofi fucked up he's like stupid, and then you watch this match in NXT when the kid totally bots the fly RKO and Randy's like, don't worry about it, you're the fucking man. Like it's like you can tell the difference in personality. But I think he's a good dude, good babyface. All right, Eric, number 7, and then I'll go again to restore the order.
I do have a McMahon on this list.
Oy.
I'm going to punch you in the fucking dick.
Shane McMahon.
Yeah. I think Eric's off the show.
You are gonna hear your list,
That's what it took. I've been asking for that for 5 years.
On my list. I'm going first next time. Fuck you. But yeah, that's great. He's the only babyface McMahon ever.
Exactly.
The first time he fucked you over was 34 minutes into the show.
That Sean agreed. But no, yeah. Shane was
next time I'm gonna message you to make sure that I don't have anyone on your list.
Oh, that's funny. Listen, Shane's a great pick, and he's a damn good pick. He was on my list too because he's the one McMahon that you can really get behind, and it's not only because of the Daredevil shit, because he'll make you love you. He'll fly off enough shit. That's that Jeff Hardy effect. He's just a rich Jeff Hardy. He's just Jeff Hardy was a fucking prep student, but
not on blow.
Yeah. Oh Jesus Christ! But Shane McMahon flies off shit. And like, especially that Mr. McMahon documentary, he looks like the ultimate babyface. He's just a son that wanted his father's love. Yeah. And
whenever he goes against his dad, it was a highlight.
It was magic. WrestleMania 17 is still one of my favorite matches. Him and Vince. And I thought that they got a perfect payoff on that. I thought Shane, whenever and the fact that he usually comes back to defend his mother, that's what really. That's the one thing that most kids can relate to. And that's why, like, as a kid, because I remember when I was really watching, like, young, and I remember actually starting to really know what the fuck was going on. And I'm following the storyline. And Kane fucking tombstones Linda, and it's fucking crazy. And then Shane's like, fuck you, you're not doing that to my mother. It's like, I can relate to that as a young mama's boy. You know, like, fucking, I love my mom, and I would protect her if anybody fucking gave her a tombstone, too. So the fact that
Shane was defending Linda, and Vince was just putting his penis in between Sable's butt cheeks.
Yeah, Vince was like, "We're gonna have Bischoff make out with her, pal."
Remember when he came back with when Stephanie got the legacy or whatever that award was?
Yeah, the bullshit award that was just, and then that Shane came back after what, like 5 years or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and he
got one of the biggest pops in like 10 years.
Huge pop. And then that match with Undertaker was awesome. He's awesome. He's good. I like the program with AJ. He's a good babyface.
Yep.
So that's a good pick.
I would say he's better babyface than heel.
Way better. Even though I like the whole young, snooty 90s Shane.
Yeah, like when he had that face where it's just like, I'm in charge. It's like, dude, you're a fucking...
With his goons. With his Three
Yeah, with the
Amigos,
Mean
whatever.
Street Posse.
Yeah, with the Mean Street Posse, and he's just like, I'm in charge, Vinnie Mac. It's like, yeah, not till he's dead. When your father dies, then you'll be in charge.
I didn't
mean,
realize
that's obviously not the case because Shane, for some reason, is going to AEW because he's a moron.
I didn't realize the Mean Street Posse joined with the British Bulldog at the end of '99.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, Shane was a damn pretty good heel too when he needs to be.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I love when he came back for the heel run with Vince. And I still love that 2006 run. And fucking Vince, the product of my semen, my son Shane. And fucking Shane's like, what the fuck? And when they're in the fucking church,
Oh, yeah.
when they're in the church and Vince is fucking drinking the holy water and he's like fucking doing the big speech to God and Shane's just fucking backing away.
Yeah, he's just like, if I am lying, may you strike me down right now. And I'm up there praying. I'm like, he asked you to do it. Fucking do it. Why aren't you doing it? Like, come on.
And then fucking Shane's just like, I'm good. And that was just a subtle, like, Shane's always been a great character. And a lot of people think that Stephanie's better than Shane. I've always disagreed. I'm a Shane guy. Even though, and when we did Underrated Heels, I had Stephanie because Stephanie's a great heel.
The thing about Stephanie is I feel like Stephanie's got like a better, like, Shane's easier to talk to because Stephanie is just more of, Vince with lady parts.
Yeah, she is.
But like lately, over the last few years, and especially like around the time when Vince was, they were trying to get him out, without, actually succeeding. Everybody, would rather go to her because they realize it's like he's off his fucking rocker. She at least still has some of her marbles left. And, Vince even started to realize that. That's why he was firing everybody in her department, which is one of the reasons why she took the leave of absence.
Well, you got to think about Stephanie, the pressure on that young woman from a young age. And like she was working, she was like the head creative in like her 20s. Not the head, but like in there. And like really in the mix. Like she's been doing shit for a very long time. And she really knows the business. And she's a great heel. And she's got that face. It's just like instead of the douche face that fucking like Miz and MJF has, she has the great bitch face, and it's like when she does that scowl, it's like it scares you, and you want to see somebody put her through a table or something. Like she's great. But Shane was always my guy, especially as a babyface.
Yep.
All right, my number 7, if I even get to have a list, we're gonna do. And this is somebody that was big, so I might have to justify this. I'm going with Goldberg. Because I think he doesn't get enough love for what he did. And he is a big star. And people do pay money to see him. And he is a big attraction. And I don't think – and it's always – and he tries to be humble about not knowing the business. And I think everybody gets on him so much because he was green. A lot of guys have been green or not that great at wrestling and still fucking had great runs. That Goldberg WCW run, he's the most over babyface of all time. And I don't think he gets enough love. And you got kids in the 90s that only watched in the 90s that only really know and love Goldberg. And that was their guy. That was their hero. Yep. So I think Goldberg means a lot of things to a lot of people. And he, like, has he been misused and like after that? And yeah, but he was still a very over babyface that was like leading that company. And like the two biggest stars of wrestling for the longest time were Stone Cold and Goldberg. Not the longest time, for like 2 years, but still. It was Stone Cold was the hottest, but then it's like, who's the next hottest? You try to tell you it's Rock, it's Goldberg.
You really think Austin was better looking than Goldberg? I mean, you just said hottest.
I'd fuck him over Goldberg, but I think that I don't think Goldberg gets the love that he deserves.
Well, and it's funny because like he came into the business basically because he had no other way to make money after football.
Yeah.
But he got himself over with the presentation and he could kick ass. And by the way, they didn't overexpose him.
Yeah.
I mean, the match with Regal, which was a bad idea, for him to go 6 minutes with a wrestler and he really didn't know much wrestling.
Yeah, but everyone acts like they didn't recover from that phenomenally.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't become a big star till after that anyway, really.
Right. And the thing is that like when Bischoff tells the story, there was a road agent involved who did not give the proper communication to Goldberg. Bischoff wouldn't say that road agent's name. It's J.J. Dillon. And the reason why it's J.J. Dillon is because J.J. Dillon to this day still talks shit about Goldberg. So when you got Kevin Sullivan, who is behind Goldberg, Jimmy Hart, all these other guys, I think Goldberg's going to be, top notch number one. And J.J. Dillon doesn't think that. More than likely, the road agent that fucked over Goldberg by not giving him the proper direction is the one that didn't believe in him, and that's J.J. Dillon. There you go, Bischoff. I just did your fucking job for you. You're supposed to be on a fucking tell-all podcast where you're supposed to tell the backstage stories of I have too much respect for this guy. You don't have respect for shit. You have respect for Hulk Hogan's testicles.
Well, the only thing that makes me not think that is he's kind of shit-talked JJ in the past. But I see where you're coming from.
Bischoff was
but yeah, Goldberg was over, and I hate that people bring that up and they're like, they killed Goldberg. No, they didn't. Goldberg was fine after that. They exposed him a little bit, but the crowd didn't give a fuck. The people in the fucking whatever dome when he beat Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Georgia Dome.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck about that. They weren't like, William Regal made him look stupid. They're like, no, Goldberg! That's all they gave a fuck about. So he did his job. He's a great babyface. Go ahead, Doug. 7.
The Patriot.
Oh, this is a weird one.
Well, and I'm going to try to explain it. And I know, what? Well, technically, when I tried to do the tribute show to him, everybody walked away. Because everybody that was supposed to do the fucking show with me fucking bailed. Eric faked having a doctor's appointment, so he couldn't do the show.
What was mine?
No, I had an MRI that day,
Yeah.
that night.
Well, you faked that too.
Hey,
one of your buddies, I think, was coming over.
Okay.
But yeah, so tried to pay proper tribute to the guy, and about 7 people fucked me.
I like Del Wilkes.
And none of them were and none of them were good looking either.
I like Del Wilkes.
Yeah.
And he was extremely over in Japan. And he was extremely over in the GWF and the other places.
Right. And that's the thing, is that's where like he was extremely over there. I think what WWF's issue was, and WCW, I think, kind of utilized, like the whole Stars and Stripes thing was fine. Because they tried him in the quit dying when I'm trying to make a point.
I'm not liking it so far.
Obviously. And like the whole thing when he came in and he started kind of the feud with Regal, but then like they were looking for something for Bagwell to do. So they created Stars and Stripes, which actually was a pretty decent team. But then like, the whole flip flop in the tag titles between them and Pretty Wonderful, who were not pretty and mediocre, not so wonderful. Like they like that was kind of a misusage. Like if they would have just pushed the team with like no more start and stop title reigns, then it would have been fine. But then when he gets to the WWF and he's doing the the thing where he's going against the Hart Foundation and he's defending our country, he's defending our country against guys from another country who are whiter than most Americans. Maybe I guess she didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, race doesn't have nothing to. I mean, you can have country superiority and be from.
Well, what I'm saying is that like you're fucking. Most states are like, except for like Florida and the southern states, but most of the northeast or the northern states are like an hour and a half away from Canada.
Yeah.
So like you're having this guy come in, he's the all-American patriot, and he's defending the country from Canada.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was a storyline in the South Park movie.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, you turned the Patriot into Sheila Broflovsky. Kyle's mom, for anybody that
Patriots, bitchy, bitches, bitches,
Yeah.
bitches, oh, wow.
yeah. So like that is where the issue was, is that like you're having him go again, like defending his country, which is nothing wrong with defending your country. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with defending your country, but like you're defending it against like your mortal enemy, Canada.
Yeah, but the Canada thing isn't. And here's the thing.
I feel like that's where they went wrong with him.
Can I offer a differing opinion?
Yeah, I guess so.
You got very passionate about it, so I don't want you to beat my ass. But
you know how much hate mail I'm going to get for calling the Patriots Sheila Broflovsky?
Yeah. But I want you to clarify also, because you said about the white thing. If it was the UK too, the UK's farther away, so it's more because Canada is closer.
Yeah,
right. It's not about the race.
Yeah, no.
Which we can all agree on. It's about Canada, and I get it. Canada is like, especially for us, we're right by Niagara Falls. Canada is like a half hour. Like Canada ain't nothing to us. Where we used to live.
Where we used to live. I mean, even now, I think Philadelphia and Toronto are like 5-6 hours apart.
Yes. So I see your point on that. But here's what I will differ with, is that I think because Canada isn't the problem, because Bret Hart made Canada awesome as a heel. Wasn't Bret Hart on like all of our underrated heels things? Because Bret Hart was so fucking good as a heel. As like that, Canada's better than this. Like, I'd rather just go the hour. I'd rather fucking go away and fucking stay away from this. Like, he made Canada, the Hart Foundation's anti-Canada shit or anti-America shit worked, and that shit. So I don't think that Canada was the problem. I think that doing America gimmick in the 90s, when people want attitude, and you got ECW fans coming, and you got people wanting fucking action, and we're just trying to, let's get to attitude. Let's get there. I don't think they wanted fucking hoorah, fucking like, just like if you would have had Hulk Hogan in the red and yellow, fucking I am a real man. I just think in the 90s people didn't want that anymore. I don't think it's not Patriot. He's a great worker. And the Star Spangled, like, yeah, it worked in WCW a little bit, but they also weren't killing it yet. And I mean, like, Bagwell looked cool in the shit, but I don't know if I would say that was over. Like, I don't think that a pro-America thing could have worked in the 90s. I really don't. Like, and it really hasn't worked since the 80s. Like, It's the big foreign heel and the American fucking, like, that's not as big of a thing. And they try to do it with John Cena and Rusev every few years. So they might still do it. But it's just, I don't think that the American – especially because Bret Hart was a cool heel, so it's like the people would rather be like, yeah, fuck Patriot, we're here for Bret. And people would rather fucking see Steve Austin defend his country against fucking Bret Hart and shit. Yeah. Instead of the Patriot. Like, they were cheering for Vader in those matches. Like, they didn't give a fuck about Patriot.
Well, and also, too, and this is something that John Horton had told me, formerly Craig Johnson of the GWF, because when he was able to join me for the Patriot retrospective, because, you know, he kept his word, unlike Ken Pernicus. And he told me, he said, you know, Del, like, the whole Patriot gimmick was kind of just last minute. I'm like, what are you talking about last minute? He goes, well, when he came in, like, he didn't come dressed as the Patriot, because the rumor had always been is that he became the Patriot in Japan, which made no sense, especially if he was a babyface.
Yeah.
But Bill Eadie said to him, he's like, you know what? We're in this time period now, because this is 91, and this is the Desert Storm was at its peak. We're going to put a mask on you. It's going to be red, white, and blue. You're going to have red, white, and blue tights, and you're going to be the Patriot, and you're going to get over. And he did. Because Del was just going to be Del Wilkes. Like, I don't even know if they were going to have him be the trooper or not, which he was in the AWA.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, like, that whole gimmick was Bill Eadie's idea. And he was able to get it over in GWF. He was able to get it over in Japan, which nobody figured out how. And I feel like, and you might have a point when it comes to, maybe they just didn't want an All-American in the night. Because when Kurt Angle came in as the All-American hero.
Yeah, booed right away. Heel.
Yeah, like he came in and they booed the shit out of him his first night.
Yeah.
And he
was
in
his hometown. His hometown was his second night.
He was in Pittsburgh the second night?
Yeah, because it was a pay-per-view and then Pittsburgh was the Raw.
Okay.
I've been watching the end of 90 since Survivor Series.
That's badass. There you go, Eric. Oh, I really got you in the Survivor Series 99 kick, didn't I?
Yeah.
Then I took it away. But
all within, because like you announced it at the beginning of the one show we did that we were doing Survivor Series 99, but then you changed it like 45 minutes later. So that just goes to prove he does not listen to the shows while we're doing them.
Who, me?
Him. Because you changed the subject during the show.
Well, he was mad about it. He was like, what the fuck? He wanted to do that. He was like, he did remember it. He heard it because he said during the episode, he's like, what the fuck? But I wanted to go over for Turkey Day because that's what it was really a Thanksgiving tradition.
Yeah.
And it really showed the match type concept, which is what I was going for. But and I want to stay true to wrestling, which the card's always subject to change.
Yeah,
you can always switch on the fly. We might have a new story develop.
You ready for my number?
Number 6, right? Go ahead.
Is it me?
No, it's me.
No, because he went first.
All right, go ahead.
Eddie Guerrero.
That's a great pick.
He didn't take it.
I thought he was an underrated babyface because when he was just a fun guy to cheer for, even when he was a heel.
Yeah, he was great.
He was just that fun, not go lucky, but that fun guy to cheer for. He could be an asshole sometimes, but he just had that something about him that was lovable.
I'll never forget the whole thing, the whole lie, cheating, and stealing thing, even though he was still a babyface. And he wrestled the Bashams.
Yeah.
And he took the bullwhip away from Shaniqua, or whatever the hell her name was. And he whipped Nick Patrick in the ass with it.
Thank you, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Sean. He whipped Nick Patrick in the ass with the bullwhip. And Nick Patrick's just like, ah!
Yeah.
He turns around and then like he rolls up the Basham or whatever, gets the win. And it kind of reminds me of like, because a bullwhip, from what I've heard, I've never been hit with one, thank God, but it hurts.
Yeah.
Because like there's actually there's a bit that Nathan Lane did. It's a story he told on David Letterman where he was using a bullwhip on the set of his Addams Family play, and he was using it, and for some reason the thing bounced back up and hit him in the mouth.
Yeah,
but he's one of the he was asked by the guy he was on stage with. He's like, "Are you okay?" And he remained in character because they were still on air or is still doing the play. He goes, I don't think so. I'm not okay. I just hit myself in the mouth with a bullwhip. And like, for some reason, like seeing that Eddie Guerrero clip, I was just like, how bad do you think Nick Patrick was hurting after getting hit with that? And he's just like, Eddie, you hit me with a bullwhip.
It was so good. But also fucking Eddie Guerrero, and like you said about the lie, cheat, and steal thing, he's the only guy that can get that over in a positive way.
Yeah, exactly.
As a baby face. Like it's not even the attitude era anymore. So people
it's ruthless aggression now, right?
Yeah, and he's not even like edgy. Like he's just fucking like just straight up cheating and fucking my favorite thing is when the ref turns away and he gets a weapon and he puts it in the guy's in the play. It just works so well. And he's just fucking and then he winks the eye and it works. And he just and even you go back to the Attitude Era and I guess he's still kind of a heel, but the shit with China and the Mamacita and that all stuff, like he has this charm to him. And of course I love heel Eddie, but Babyface when he won it No Way Out, oh my god.
When he finally won it, yeah.
No Way Out 2004 is the one card that it's like there is such a big fight feel to that, and there is such an underdog story, and that is such a must-watch pay-per-view for like a throwaway SmackDown right before wrestling. Like, and that pay-per-view is a must-watch for that moment alone, because when he hits that frog smash, that fucking crowd, and when he finally pins Brock Lesnar, and Eddie Guerrero wins the big one, it's a fucking big deal.
Yep.
Come on, I'm fucking stupid thing.
Who is that?
I don't know who William Banks is.
Really called you. But
He's probably calling me to tell me the show, sir.
he's like, your opinion's blow.
How dare you fucking
We just lost a viewer, he left. Fuck you.
How dare you say that the Patriot is Sheila Broflovsky? I'm Sheila's first cousin.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, but
You could be. But no, I think that hell of a job. Hell of a job. Who are we talking about again?
Thank you.
Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero, hell of a great baby face. I wish he would have held the title longer. I know he didn't want to, but he could have had a big run.
And may he rest in peace.
And that feud with Kurt Angle was awesome.
Yeah.
And fuck those people in Canada for fucking booing him.
Oh yeah,
Heel
Toronto
count,
SummerSlam.
That fucking SummerSlam 2004 should be one of the best fucking pay-per-views ever, and that crowd ruined the fuck out.
Yeah.
It makes Randy and Benoit kind of cool, but poor Eugene. And he never came back from it. All right, is it my turn?
Yes.
Yep.
I have, in place of shit, you fucking head, you looking at my list.
It's too small. You know.
You're too small.
Well, in some areas.
My number 6, in place of Shane McMahon,
Because Eric's a dick.
I have, there's a hurricane coming through.
Oh, that's a great pick. I don't have
That's
it.
great.
That's a great-
What's up with that? He's somebody that, like, in 2003, 2004, you could have put him in the fucking main event. You could have actually did a world title match with him and Triple H. And it could have worked. And no, he couldn't have won, but he was kind of like a big attraction for them. And he was like a big deal. And like, out of all the like dumb, like a stupid superhero gimmick, but he got it over. And he was a good comedy act. He was fun. And he's like one of the more fun parts of the Ruthless Aggression. Hey, he was a great worker too. I thought the Hurricane Shane Helms, and I like the little heel thing too, but as a babyface is the Hurricane on Raw and fucking tagging with Rosie. Oh my God. I mean, just a Hurricane.
When they won the titles, that was fucking fantastic. And as far as his 2003 run goes, I feel like he would have gone further if a big-nosed butt fucking asshole from Charlotte, North Carolina, who thinks he's the greatest world's champion of all time, but all he likes to do is grab another man's crotch.
You were so controversial compared to the rest.
If he like would have cooperated more and not tried, because I do think that sometimes like he purposely sabotaged Hurricane. Like I don't know what the hell his issue was with Hurricane or whatever, or if he's just, or if Flair's just a bitch.
Was that really a thing? Was he stiff with Hurricane?
Well, when they had the one match on Raw, when Hurricane was still kind of getting his push, and like, you know, they had the match, and like Flair got, you know, ripped out of his pants and all that. Flair still won, and it's because Flair had told Hurricane, or had said, "I don't want to put him over."
Really?
I believe so, because a lot of people are just like, why didn't the guy go over? And the report was Flair didn't want to. Ric Flair is a bitch.
All right, dude. Come on. He's one of the goats.
He's more like a jackass.
But I've been too much of a WCW fan to agree. But,
Sting was the best part of WCW.
Sting feud with him. He's a Sting guy. You're fucking hilarious. But all right, yeah. But the Hurricane was great. Ric Flair is. I hope that this can't be a short.
It should be that just a line of me saying Ric Flair is a bitch.
We're gonna end up getting fucking. We're gonna get a angry drunk tweet at some point. We're gonna get the woo. Yeah, listen.
Yeah, he's gonna drunk tweet us, and I'm gonna be like, "Look here, you big nose fuck."
Who was Intercontinental Champion during the Rock program? Damn it! In 2003, when he beat the Rock, you're supposed to be the encyclopedia.
What? When Hurricane beat the Rock?
Yeah. Who was the Intercontinental Champion?
They hadn't brought the belt back yet.
Fuck. When did they bring it back?
Like May of that year.
And what month are we in?
March.
Jesus. H. So we're coming up on it.
Yeah. But we're not there yet.
Yeah, but after he beats The Rock, you build him up a little more and you put the strap on him. Fuck Christian.
I'll definitely say that now.
And I like Christian, but
I hate him more than I hate Flair.
Jesus. You were a big bearded angry man. And
Duh.
And that's why when it's like people are like, "You ever gonna become an interview show?" It's like, not as long as Doug's around. Because everyone's gonna come out and be like, "He said that I fucked my friend." Sean's gonna be like, "He said I fucked on it," and all these people,
which you have.
So I don't see it becoming an interview show at any point, and I don't see us getting the Rosenberg treatment either.
No,
but the Hurricane, when he beat The Rock, you put the rocket ship on him. You don't just make that a fluke win. It was a big fucking moment, and it built the Stone Cold and Rock, and you're kind of going into WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
So fucking do something. What did he do at WrestleMania?
He didn't do anything.
Yeah, you do something with him at WrestleMania. How are you not going to fucking you have him in a big push, you have him beat the fucking Rock, and then you don't use him at that year's WrestleMania? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought the Hurricane was a big deal, and I thought he could have been bigger than he was. Go ahead.
I agree with that.
Error, dog.
My number 6 is Mark Briscoe.
Oh, that's a great one.
It's a phenomenal.
Because and here's the thing, and I always felt like Jay was the better. You're budging me for you, dick.
You're in front of the mic.
Well, yeah, because I have to be in front of the mic so they can hear me talk.
I can hear you talking Peru.
My voice only travels to Arkansas. But I always felt like Jay Briscoe was the better worker, but Mark was the more entertaining character.
Yes.
You know, with the redneck kung fu, and they always called him Chicken, and the promos he would cut, and the Froggy Bow, and I feel like that this guy. I mean, I do feel like over the last couple of years he's gotten a lot more love.
Yeah.
But I really feel like he did not get the respect that he deserved. That respect was all just geared towards Jay. And I'm not knocking Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe,
no, he was
R.I.P. One of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. Turned it into a great singles career. Briscoe Brothers, one of the greatest tag teams of all. One of the most underrated tag teams of all time. All right. So I'm not knocking Jay Briscoe. All right. Yes, I was knocking Ric Flair about 5 minutes ago or 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, but Mark, one of the highlights of AEW, honestly. Like when Mark shows up, we're like, yeah, this is good. And when he shot that one promo, when it was like him, Orange Cassidy, and Kyle O'Reilly, and I forget who else.
Willow, right?
Yeah, and he's just hyping everybody up. He's like, "We're about to kick your ass!" And he was just so good in that moment. And it's the little things. And Mark Briscoe does it well. He is an underrated babyface.
Oh yeah.
Are we doing a part 2, gentlemen, for
I was-
SmackDown? Or are we going to keep going?
You read my mind. I was going to ask you that before I reveal my number 5. Do you want to stop here and do
You want to
part
go
2 next week?
multiple hours and be that type of podcast, or do you want to fucking watch?
I was gonna say, do we want to? I mean, because we can keep going. Eric would just have to. Eric would just have to write that this is a part 1.
Yeah, if we stopped.
If we stopped.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure you put that this is part 1.
Yeah, I know.
So I have no problem with that. I mean, I was going to suggest that we do a Saturday night's main event next week, but if we don't have to watch anything, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm cool with it if you guys are.
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, we'll do one more.
So we'll do 4 through 1 next week.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do 4 through 1 and Saturday night's main event.
Okay. So we'll do a double.
All right. So next week's going to be a double.
That's going to be a double header.
Well, yeah, because Saturday night's main event doesn't take long.
Which one?
Which one?
Oh, I get to pick?
Yeah.
Woohoo. We're going to do the we're going to go back to October of 1989. Hogan versus DiBiase for the WWF title. Superfly versus the Macho King. Rick Martel, Tito Santana, Roddy Piper, Haku, and the Bushwhackers versus the Rougeos.
So Saturday's main event. Saturday's night's main event.
October of 89.
Okay.
So we'll do that, and we'll do 4 through 1
Yep.
next week. All right. So Eric, go ahead and give your 5th.
I hope he's not on your list, Daniel.
Well,
He's
if
one
it's
of your
later
favorites.
on down the list, then he has a week to change it.
There you go.
He's one of your favorites. He's one of my favorites. The Animal, Batista.
Underrated?
Yeah.
He's not on my list because I didn't think he was underrated, but that's not a bad pick.
I think more people think of him as a heel because of the way he's built and stuff. But I thought he was a good babyface, especially when he feuded with Triple H.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best work of his career. I think his babyface stuff is his best stuff.
Yeah.
But I think he's also underrated as a heel. I would almost kind of take the opposite opinion, but I see where you're coming from. Because I really like the heel stuff with Cena too, and I don't know if that's because he was kind of the guy in the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
But then Cena kind of. So I guess you're right because he is underrated as a babyface because he was the number 2 babyface.
Yeah, that's
Cena was
where
always
I'm
the
going with it.
They wanted
Yes.
it to be Batista and Cena, and Batista was close, and he did become the movie star and shit. But John Cena was more the guy in WWE than he was.
He was always number 2 behind Cena.
And it showed when they got their big feud. And Cena went over a bunch. All right, my number 5. You ready, Doug?
Yeah.
I got Big Diesel himself, Big Sexy, Kevin Nash. I think he's underrated for the fact that I think a lot of people think that his only good and best stuff was NWO heel first starting off with Hogan and Hall and stuff. And then I think people think that all his like the WWE run babyface cool champion Diesel was fun. And it was still, even though it didn't draw, and I know it's not one of the best drawing runs, and people shit on it for that, I liked it. And I thought he was good in that role. I liked fucking Diesel. I thought he was cool. And then I love fucking NWO Wolfpack, fucking Red, and I'll still stand behind him beating Goldberg to this day. So I thought he was so over as a babyface. I think he was the man. If they would have never had him go back heel with Hogan, like that company wouldn't have died. You keep him as a babyface. Like I think Nash is that important as a babyface. I think and I love the ruthless aggression, his feud with Triple H, that Hell in a Cell, still one of my favorites. That's an underrated one.
I kind of like his TNA run a
Yeah,
little bit.
he was fun in that too.
Yeah.
He brings as an energy, he brings a fun babyface energy.
I
know it's lackadaisical and people think he's like being lazy, but I just find it as like the fun, relaxed uncle.
Yeah.
I know I've talked shit about him a lot on the show. Yeah. I mean, in the past when we were on a certain Block Talk.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
Yeah, I think he's underrated.
I'll never. I always look back at fondness when he had that one exchange with Jim Cornette, and Cornette wanted the Dudleys and Booker T out of his office, and Nash wanted something out of it, and he's like, "All right, Kevin, you got it. Now go take care of business." And he goes, "Jim, you have to ask me nicely." And Cornette looks at him and says, "Kevin, will you please go get those three jackasses out of my office?" And Nash looks at him and says, "It would be a pleasure." And he goes, and I was just like, oh my fucking God. Because those two, I really do think that that Sean Oliver needs to make it happen, that the two of them are on a show together.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Nash and who?
Nash and Cornette.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
And the funny thing is that Nash wants to do it, because Nash even said, he goes, what's weird is that he goes, I think him and I would agree on everything nowadays.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that would make Cornette shoot himself or not, but
well, because the thing about Nash is people kind of tried to shit on Nash and act like he was new school, but he always had that old school mentality.
Yeah.
And even with the Goldberg shit he's like, and then going heel, he's like, you can't have a babyface champion for too long. And that's a heel mindset.
Yeah.
Like, or that's an old school mindset, not a heel mindset. That's an old school mindset. Like he always wanted to, pay tribute to the past and like use that. It showed in his booking and his creative, and it also showed in his work. And he was simple, and it was always less is more. And it's not lazy. It's still good storytelling, and it's still good wrestling. And a Kevin Nash match is still a fun match to watch. And I thought he was an underrated babyface. Doug, take us home. Who's your number 5?
My number 5 is the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith.
That's a great pick.
Oh, that's a great pick.
That's a guy that could have been world champion so many fucking times. In so many different companies, and he could have been the world champion at so many times. He was such a good babyface.
Well, and here's the thing: is that like in '90, when he came back at the end of 1990, and he came back, he had the dreadlocks and all that.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was starting to get pushed because they were having more of a European presence. And he was a big part of that. Him and Brett were they were so over with the European crowd and overseas and all that.
Yeah. That match in Wembley beats anything AEW's ever done.
Exactly.
No offense.
But the thing is that because he was so he had issues.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, those issues derailed his push. And then he tried to get over in WCW. And then again, it's always been issues with him.
Yeah.
Which is why they would never give him, the big push. But as a babyface, he could get over. And his promos really weren't that bad.
No.
He could cut a promo.
Yeah.
Okay. Even as a babyface, he could cut a promo. So, and his work was pretty good. So he never really got the love in my. First of all, 1991, you're working every fucking pay-per-view that they have that year. They had 5 of them. Every fucking pay-per-view, you're stuck in the ring with the Warlord. All right. Who fucking did not who basically thought he was a bigger deal than what he was. All right, he thought he was a nice guy in real life, because I did meet him. I mean, he's a nice guy in real life, now. Well, this was 10 years ago, but like
Nothing.
But he Warlord is a guy that he fucked up Kerry Von Erich's push because he refused to lose to Kerry Von Erich. And he refused to lose to a lot of guys. It's like, if he's working with a guy that could beat him, it's like, oh, it's got to be a double count on her. I'm not doing it. They were bringing in guys to try to get over. Like, they brought in Chris Walker in early 92. As soon as Warlord beat him, Chris Walker's push was over with, because Warlord is a roided Ric Flair that can't work.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He refuses to get other people over, but Davey Boy got over, but the matches were shit, because that's what Warlord is. A big steaming pile. So like, I feel like if you would have used Davey Boy, or had Davey Boy work with somebody who was not a steaming pile of elephant dung, Davey Boy would have gotten much more respect and it been a much bigger star. But no, you had to use 1991 to put him with the fucking the worst half of the Powers of Pain.
Yeah, but that was before the Brett match.
Yeah.
And then after the Brett match, like, he was the fucking man in that match.
Yeah, but fucking
whether he was on crack or not, whatever.
Yeah,
Brett
but then
says
fucking but then fucking 92, when he starts getting the push, he's already on the fucking drugs. Like, if fucking working with Warlord would put me on crack.
You look like Warlord.
Hey.
Hey, easy. But no, I don't disagree, but I think Bulldog was always like, he's been in so many world title matches and not won.
Yeah.
It's just like, he's been in a lot of main events. He's sold houses. He's drawn, but he's never gotten the belt and been the man. And so I agree with him being an underrated babyface. It's a great pick.
Thank you.
It's a good
Great
rant.
pick.
Big bearded angry man. I love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, SmackDown is about to begin. We will see everybody next week for part 2. And also Saturday night's main event. What date?
October. I actually believe it's October 14th, 1989.
Main event.
I'll check it.
What's the main event?
DiBiase and Hogan for the WWF title.
So there you fucking go. So we'll see everybody next week for that, and we'll be giving our 4 through 1 for this. And we enjoyed everybody's presence. Thank you for everybody, and love you.
Tomorrow night.
We'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. for when tunes combine. We're going to start the Cartoon Classic. It's our selection show.
There you go. Have a good one.
We're going to put the AEW Continental Classic to shame.
I can't wait for this.
Me neither.
Fuck your outro.